to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula Bore Formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked?
I do think that works, Andrea Cattaneo, and everybody, co-host coming in hot shortly. But until he does, we're going to introduce some fine folks so we know who's here with us today, Andrea, shall we?
Sounds awesome. Let's go.
Let's do it. First, from New York, digital leader transforming organizations through bold strategy, med innovation, and tech-enabled growth across diverse industries. Proven builder of global teams and breakthrough campaigns that deliver tangible results and lasting partnerships, heart-centered, creativity-driven, executive-inspired, high-impact change with intellectual rigor and vibrant energy. That's a lot to live up to. Let's welcome to the show, Gary Mirkin.
Say yes, say yes, say yes.
Have you been to a Tony Robbins event, Gary?
No, but I met Tony many, many years ago. So I can't say I've been to an event, but he was at one of my events. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, so that is a pretty fun fact. I hadn't asked for the fun fact yet, but that is a pretty fun fact that Tony Robbins has been to one of your events. Is that the fun fact, Gary, or do you have another even bigger fun fact for us?
I guess the only fun fact I have other than that is I survived being sued by Steve Jobs, and that was pretty good.
You survived being sued by Steve Jobs. That is definitely a funny fact. I want to know the whole story to that, but I don't know that we have time, or I don't know what you can disclose, but that is a pretty fun fact, Gary.
Yeah, no, it was in business process, and I won't go any further because Andrea said keep it as a headline. That's your headline.
That is my headline, and you did it so perfectly, Gary. Because when you give a headline, what that causes is curiosity to be piqued. Everybody's curiosity is piqued, and now there's so many more questions we have for you, but we'll have to save them for a different day, because now we're curious, how did Tony end up in your room? Now we're curious of how you ended up in a lawsuit with Steve Jobs, but we're going to have to wait on those. But you have piqued curiosity, Gary, and are you ready to have some fun?
Well, most importantly, survived the lawsuit from Steve Jobs. So,
survived the lawsuit, yes.
Ready to have fun.
Now the question is, how much equity do you own in Apple? But we'll say that for a different day. Welcome, Gary, to the Heart of Influence, and rolling with Gary from Los Angeles, California. We're going coast to coast today. Serial entrepreneur transforming housing with sustainable tech-driven solutions that accelerate speed and reduce costs. Strategic innovator blending creativity and execution to scale impact, ventures, and challenge industry norms. Visionary leader reshaping construction by turning bold ideas into market-shifting, purpose-driven realities. Let's welcome to the show, Gene Edelman. Gene, hello. Welcome to the Heart of Influence, all the way from Los Angeles, California. And Gene, what is your fun fact?
My fun fact that I think I mentioned earlier, I was an immigrant from Ukraine, and a few years later I resettled some 6,000 refugees from former Soviet Union, and Oprah Winfrey asked me to come to her show. Thank goodness she didn't ask me to sing.
Gary, that is some incredible work. My peace and prayers go to your country for sure, and I think you've got an invitation that 90% of Americans would like to have an opportunity to sit down with Oprah Winfrey. That is incredible. The man's got some influence. We have some rock stars here today. Andrea, welcome. Gene, welcome. Gary. And rolling with these rock stars from Old Westbury, New York, strategic investor uncovering overlooked values through rigorous analysis, creative insight, and purpose-driven action. Veteran dealmaker and team builder with a track record of scaling ventures and driving transformative growth. Blends financial acumen and human connection, infusing everyone with is that supposed to be move? Every move, there you go. With curiosity, integrity, and joyful leadership, let's welcome to the show, Kenny Orr.
Happy to be here.
Kenny, I don't know if you've been sued by Steve Jobs or got an invitation to have lunch with Oprah, but Kenny, what is your fun fact for today?
I don't have such notorious fun facts, but I was very lucky. Yesterday, I was asked and toured Northwell's Cancer Center for Women, or Women's Cancer Center, and I was asked to donate one of my artworks that I make. So most people don't know that I actually am an artist as a hobby. And it was pretty fun for me to be invited to put one of my pieces in such a great place. So
that is a beautiful thing. As a cancer thriver myself, Kenny, thank you so much for contributing your time and talent.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Welcome, Kenny, to the Heart of Influence. And next up from New York, investment advisor guiding growth and capital strategies for mid-sized enterprises across domestic and international markets. Trusted leader with 15 years of global experience spanning finance, consulting, and over 250 client engagements. Passionate contributor blending market insight with community service and thought leadership in economics and business. Let's welcome to the show, Ray Archibald.
Glad to be here.
Hello, Ray. Welcome to the Heart of Influence. We're so happy to have you. And Ray, what is your fun fact?
Well, mine is not quite as illustrative as the others on the panel. Mine is actually, I guess, maybe more catchy. I can wiggle my ears. Both of them, or each one individually, and I've used them as icebreakers. I'll share that my current wife, we were out when we were early dating, we were sitting at a bar waiting, and I did it for her, and she nearly fell off her chair. So I use it sometimes as an icebreaker in tense environments because it's not something people typically expect to see.
Well, Ray, let's see your ear wiggles.
I don't know if it's going to transfer, but
we can see them.
Good.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
So
that is awesome. Andrea, this is the first time in Heart of Influence that we have had some ear wiggling. Thank you, Ray, for your ear wiggles. Awesome. And with those ear wiggles. Oh, do we hear you, Sean?
Yes, I said.
Nope, you're cutting out, my friend. Sorry.
Sounds like the boat's going down.
Yeah, the boat's going down. You sound like a robot that's been taken over. So I'm going to keep continuing down the road here. We got one more introduction, and maybe if Sean comes back above water, which he is like known for, making runs out to LBI. So who knows? Maybe he was catching a wave and he's just coming in, but he'll be right back. And next up from Dallas, Texas, with vision forged through decades of leadership, transforms medical innovations into real-world progress, architecting strategies that turn bold breakthroughs into life-changing realities. Blending financial acumen with human insight, he guides teams through pivotal growth moments, shaping ventures that accelerate science with honor while honoring people that it serves. Trusted as a true partner in transformation, he sees what others miss, helping leaders scale faster, navigate complexity, and create solutions that touch lives globally. Let's welcome to the show, Daniel D'Agostino.
Thank you. Wow, I wish I could write all that down. That was great.
Well, Andrea will definitely make sure you get a copy of it for sure, Dan. And I don't know if you've been in lawsuits with Steve or sat with Oprah or can wiggle your ears, but if you can't, what fun fact, Dan, do you have that top all those?
I don't. Absolutely, I don't. I can give one just sort of example of coincidence or right place, right time. Maybe, or maybe just the fact that we all work with different characters who you never really know where they're going to wind up. But in my experience as an investment banker and CFO over the years, one of my first jobs was at a firm that no longer exists because it was bought many years ago. But it had been one of the originators of. I'm getting feedback. But
Yeah. And so what's the headline fun fact, Dan?
The headline fun fact is my boss in investment banking, Dylan Reed, was a guy called Jay Powell. And Jay has obviously gone on to bigger and better things, but
okay.
No comments, no political comments one way or the other, but Jay is a very smart guy.
Love Jay.
Let's go. Bill Reed, am I getting feedback on me?
Yeah, I think your computer needs to be muted.
Is my computer muted?
Yeah, because you're dialed in, so yeah, your computer needs to be muted.
Got it. So it should have muted. My apologies on that.
And while you're doing that,
team is struggling.
No, there you go. And while you're doing that, I'll introduce Andrea Catania.
Let's go.
The woman who is known as the deal attorney, having led over 200 capital market transactions in the past 25 years, taking companies public in the 7 different ways to do so. 2 years out of law school, built $1 million solo practice from her basement as a single mom with 2 young daughters, proudly serving for over a decade on the board of National Investment and Banking Association, helping companies get connected to thousands of members and funding sources, executive producer of the Heart of Influence, general counsel, and chief ecosystem officer for Caligari Law. Let's welcome the one, the only, Andrea Catania.
Andrea Catania, warm welcome on this Trajectory Tuesday. Thank you for being a cause in the matter of assembling these, hopefully, growth-driven, heart-centered, integrous, committed to mastery human beings. And Andrea, on this Trajectory Tuesday, please, what is your headline fun fact?
Oh, Andrea, we can't hear you. But you're not muted, I don't think. No, her microphone isn't working.
Okay,
we can hear her moments ago. I think Andrea's fun fact is that she is a 60-ish woman and can do 1,000 push-ups in a day. That is Andrea's fun fact. So thank you, Andrea. And let's go, Sean.
Yes. So I'm going to introduce the woman doing the introducing as we are marveling at our technical challenges on this day. And this woman began her current influence as an 8-year-old selling crafts on her parents' front lawn. She progressed to being a 7-figure business generator in the space of network marketing by the age of 19. Like, those things go together? Network marketing, 7 figures, and teenager? I don't think so. But in the case of Bella Verita, they actually do. She progressed to being the number 1 business broker in Nevada at the age of 24, 25, and 26 years old. She was the youngest person ever to do it, period, male or female, in that male-dominated industry, and the first woman to do it at all. Anyway, she then progressed to training the big guys and gals at Fortune 500 companies, as well as entrepreneurial ventures. In fact, in 2019, every sales team Bella Verita worked with doubled their sales. She's a skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer in the most extreme of conditions. Maybe she learned it from a blind man. Maybe she learned it from YouTube. I'm thinking of tips towards the blind man today, as she's been in like 900 commercials for Unblinded in the past few days. And she's also someone that's been a philanthropist, raising $10 million for charity in the past couple of years with the Unblinded team. And she's a 2-time, about to be 3-time published author who is someone who publicly battled and defeated cancer in 2023. And in final, she's in her 1800th episode of The Heart of Influence, 1800, and she is the person that put the heart in the Heart of Influence. Let's welcome to this show, her show, the one, the only, Bella. Yes, Bella Verita, you're amazing. It's exhausting, ... And please, your headline fun fact.
Yes, I was thinking as you were talking, definitely learn to surf, ski, and scuba dive from a blind man. But I do think you also should know, Sean, that a recent released video of us wrestling has been the most viewed video of the week. And I want you to know that video also proves that I out-wrestled you not once, but twice. So that is my fun fact for today.
That is a preposterous fun fact. I was assaulted. I was calling the police. And team, let's show that video during this Heart of Influence. So Danny, team, let's have that video ready to go. Bella Verita, thank you. So listen, Bella, so this is going to definitely skits out your very flexible, flowy self, which you are usually, when I do a format change. You're going to introduce me, and then before we have the people be in their role plays, I'm going to do a role play first. So get ready. Like, make it up and be spontaneous. And here we go. So, yes. So back to you, Bella Verita, and let's rock and roll. Feel free to make whatever introductions you like, and then we'll go there.
All right. Well, I will introduce my co-host, the one that likes to shake up certainty every now and again and change the rules. But, he is the boss, so I guess he gets to do that. The man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Bet Key at body surfing competitions. He is only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. In fact, the state of New Jersey actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times. And when he's not busy flying around speaking on stages, he is an incredible philanthropist that raised nearly $10 million in 2 years for refugees in Ukraine. Let's welcome the one, the only, Sean Callagy!
Thank you. Appreciate that for sure, Bella Verita, and everybody. Warm welcome to the Heart of Influence. Yes, I'm in my more than 2,000th episode of this show. We've had more than 8,000, actually pushing about 9,000 people that have been on the show. So warm welcome to that ecosystem. And Andrea, thanks for making this happen today, and Bella for you being here. So I'm going to go with this, my headline fun fact. On Thursday, I will have the blessing and privilege of speaking at the Aspire Tour. I'll be speaking right before David Goggins. And we have more than, with our Unblinded crew, as of this moment, 1,900 people coming, not to the overall event, but coming with and through Unblinded, from attorneys to investment bankers to accountants, financial service providers, coaches, trainers, speakers, authors, all the people but we will be cracking, before the show is over, to 2,000 people registered and coming with us on Thursday in the Meadowlands, and all of you are invited. So that is my headline fun fact for this day. And Bella Verita, I'm going to share a little bit about what we're doing here, post introductions. I'll demo it, and I'll give you a minute to think of a couple things that Andrea could put me on the hot seat for, and it could be anything in your creative, wild Bella Verita brain. So for everybody, I'm hearing the beautiful diversity of folks and backgrounds that we have here, but generally speaking, Andrea's shows tend to be in the space of financial services and business growth and optimization. So what I figured out a long time ago is that, and I built a 40-person law firm 6 months out of law school. I've not quite heard of anybody doing that without any money, relationship capital, et cetera, and no equity partners. And I exited it just after my 30th birthday, because I realized that the ability to cause yes with human beings with integrity, knowing which yes is the cause and how to emotion get yourself to do it, is what makes every single thing happen. It's what drives our leadership, our management, our recruitment, marketing, selling, fundraising, for profit, not for profit, any and all of those things. So we created this show when COVID hit because people couldn't get together anymore. And we had just run our first unblinded event. There's 1,300 people there. And we realized, what are we going to do now? So this was like the Capitol Grill private room, which we were the #1 client in New Jersey in 2018, 2019. I was personally beating places like Merck and, some other fun folks. How do we recreate that virtually online? And it stuck, and we're here and meet each other and be introduced to each other. What we do is we explore also in a fun little research and development laboratory, how do people cause yes with each other? So what I'm going to get from the hot seat to do, and then a couple other fine folks are going to do, is go from hello to yes with people. Not a final yes necessarily, because we're only going to have a 3-minute interaction, but what causes people in a short window to do what Oprah Winfrey said? I see you, I hear you, what you say matters to me. To create a pinprick possibility that people are seeing their future in us and want to continue at their 3-minute interaction and go on and perhaps have a longer meeting. It could be in philanthropy. It could be for ideal clients. It could be with famous people, Oprah Winfrey's, Warren Buffett's, whatever, going from hello to yes. So with that said, Bella, what am I getting put on the hot seat for?
What you were speaking of Oprah Winfrey, and Jean has actually gotten an invitation from Oprah Winfrey. So in the spirit of Oprah Winfrey today, Sean, my challenge for you is to go from hello to yes with Oprah Winfrey, inviting her to the Aspire event, so having her change her entire schedule, come to the event on Thursday to not only meet you, but also the entire Unblinded team. Andrea, what do you think of this scenario?
I love it. Perfect. You could not come up with a better one.
I think Andrea is saying I couldn't have come up with a better scenario. Your audio is not really working, Andrea. So, Sean, and then who shall we have play Oprah Winfrey? Kenny, are you up for playing Oprah Winfrey?
Sure, why not?
All right. So, Sean, you're from hello to yes.
So everybody muted besides you. We get weird feedback, so let's mute everybody.
Yep.
And I got, so all muting. Cool.
Should I mute also?
You should not mute, Ken.
Yeah. Kenny, I'm blind. I'm going to do this in sign language. So just signal back to me in sign language. It should be perfect. So, hi, and you're Oprah Winfrey, and I will be, I'll be myself. So, hi, hello, is Miss Winfrey available?
This is Oprah.
Yep. And I want to refer to you as you see fit. Of course, this is Sean Cowell. You had a 3-minute conversation scheduled. Should I call you Oprah, Miss Winfrey? I don't want to override your saying Oprah, but how shall I refer to you?
Please call me Oprah. Nice to meet you, Sean.
Thanks, Oprah. Yeah, very nice to meet you as well. And I know you're super busy. We're already at 2 minutes and 45 seconds and counting. I'm not here to pitch you, of course, Oprah, but I'm really curious what prompted you to even say yes to this conversation. You're super busy launching your own events, but what prompted you to say yes to this conversation, please?
Actually, I picked up the call by mistake. How can I help you?
Well, then I definitely think we should reset because your team received the documents about the conversation. I don't want to put you in a weird situation. And if you don't know why we're here, I definitely would not want to have the
Well,
conversation
you have
right now. And that's not
Why don't you just tell me what it's about, and I'll be happy to listen.
sure. Well, what I knew from your team was that you are having trouble filling your events. And what I knew from your team is that you have a philanthropic mission to generate $1 billion raise for charity. I know that you know that Tony Robbins has recently raised $60 billion in 1 year, a sometimes friend of yours, and I know you've done a lot together, and that you're curious of how the heck is Tony raising $60 billion. And
Oh, yes, Sean. Now I remember. I spoke to Tony, and he actually told me you really helped him. So how can you help me? I have this mission I really care about, and I really would love to know how you can make what we do different around here and have a better result.
Sure. So charities, Oprah, fail because they violate the very principle of falling in love with their own product, which of course is the great cause. And in a fun way, I say to people, okay, you're going to raise money to end blindness or to stop sex trafficking or to cause deaf people to go to work. And are you going to then pit that against children's cancer? And people are very startled and find it to be almost off-putting initially. But I pause and say, of course, these are all amazing causes. And people with resources are approached by amazing causes endlessly and continuously. So it cannot just be that there's a great cause that's going to cause people to become substantially involved. And what ends up happening is people do a very nice thing and they'll write a check for something that matters to them. For example, my grandparents got resources would every year send $25 to the Foundation for Fighting Blindness, and for them that was a meaningful contribution. You know, millionaires, deca millionaires, centimillionaires might send $1,000 or $5,000. But what does it look like, and what's the bridge crossing? Always, of course, Oprah, for people to write checks of $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $500,000, $250,000 is a very simple reality. There has to be something in it for them. And that something in it for them could be amazingly integrous and impactful and create sustainability. We look at sustainability in ecosystems and environments of soil, of water, of air, and we're present to this. But something fascinating has developed in the nonprofit sector since its inception, which is this belief that sustainability doesn't occur and involve them. So what I'm simply here to talk about, Oprah, is this. If you could find yourself to recreating your schedule and make it to Aspire, I will happily donate $1 million to the Oprah Winfrey Foundation from my foundation, and I'll send a private jet. The reason I would do that is for sustainable giving to be experienced by you. Our conversation, the beginning of it, your identity, our interaction, provided you're comfortable with me sharing the fact that we're meeting, creates massive value for me because your identity is above mine. And from that place, we would have a conversation and how I believe, and I'll blueprint it out, that we can raise $100 million for your charity. If I fail and you believe that this is a waste of your time, I will donate a second $1 million to your charitable foundation. But if you believe that there's something more there, then I propose that we set up a sequencing of meetings and we set out to raise $100 million for your cause and bring this methodology to the world at large. That's my intention. And of course, your time is worth more than $1 million a day. I'm not confused, but I would hope that that would be seen as a meaningful investment to put some of my heart, my beingness where my words are, and we can have a look into what we can do from here. So, you know, I know you're super busy, but Ms. Winfrey, Oprah, how would it resonate with you or not to send a jet, have you come to Aspire? Of course, I would have the $1 million put into your charitable foundation ahead of time. And is that possible? What say you, Oprah?
Well, I love your commitment, and I love the fact that you're willing to put your money where your mouth is. And I find that confidence compelling. But you touched on something, and I really would love to just, before I commit and say yes, which I'm inclined to do, before I do that, I would like you to give me a concrete example of how you've been successful in making people, how people have influenced others to pull on their heartstrings to donate those $1 million in charities when they have so many to give to. Ours is, I'm involved in the Women's Cancer Institute at Northwell. I would love to know how I can get someone to write the $2 million check rather than $1,000 just to get us to, off the phone. So can you just give me a 30,000 foot view on how you do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So 2 quick examples. First, Tony Robbins. It was his 60th birthday, and they had no idea. They wanted to give Tony a gift, and they wanted to donate money for ending sex trafficking. And there's a bunch of people who, 6 or 7 people have been around the ecosystem for a long time in a private meeting with his brother-in-law and his wife. And I was invited to the meeting 2 hours before they were going to try to raise the money in the room. They've never raised more than $500,000 from an audience of 5,000 people. This was a smaller audience of 300 people. And they would have been thrilled to raise $500,000. And I said, if humbly, I'm not able to raise the $500,000 and you let me run this, I'll give the $500,000 myself. So first, that's an example of sustainable giving because there was something of value at stake for me, the ability to bring my skill sets forward. That's an example. Second example is when I went on stage, I went through a whole conversation about Tony, all of his meaning, but I think most importantly, Oprah, this happened. I said, let's start with, for anybody who will invest in ending sex trafficking, $50,000, you come up on stage and you'll be in the picture. We'll send to Tony and put it up on the website. People flocked to stage. When typically they would raise money for ending sex trafficking in Tony's room, they would do it anonymously. When people had the ability to come up on the stage, wonderful people, they got something of massive value, a picture to put up, advance their cause. Now, not everybody would find value in that, not everyone, but the second part was that Tony was going to see the picture. And for some people, it was the public dynamic. For others, it was Tony. I applied this model over and over and over again, had a YouTube influencer who had a 300-person event, had never raised more than $14,000 for charity. In 2 hours on his stage, by planning a trip to the Ukraine during the war for supporting people, bringing supplies to the Ukrainians back in 2022, I believe it was, we raised $14,000 was the most he ever raised before. I raised $2.6 million. 5 people gave $250,000 each to ride on a private jet across the ocean with us to talk about building their own platforms with the YouTube influencer and myself. And they would have all the footage after the trip. And others were $100,000 each for different components to come to my beach house for a weekend to be trained on speaking and platform building. They were getting something in return that they thought, first, it was a great cause. Second, they saw the resources being deployed optimally. And third, they got something of real value for themselves, and we would teach them how to put that footage out, how to build their own platform. So those are just a few quick examples of profoundly different amounts of fundraising, and I could do many more examples, but how does that sound to you?
That sounds great. You sound like a dedicated and terrific person. I love your ideas. I'll put you on with my assistant and we can schedule a time next week.
And Oprah, I'm very, very grateful. And I've done a lot less in the world than you. But one of the things I do, as Peter Drucker said, let's look for incongruities in the marketplace. I find leakage, close leakage. And that is what I do with integrity, transparency. I thank you for this opportunity. And I assure you, I really do, that at the end of our meeting, you'll be choosing the $100 million for your charitable raise as opposed to the second million. And I'm very grateful for your time today, Oprah. Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds great.
Okay.
By the way, now that I'm not, that really was great, Sean. Thank you.
Thank you. And everything I said was true. So, you know,
I can tell with the integrity with which you speak. So thank you.
Thank you. Now,
I call upon you, by the way, to help me on my fundraiser for the Women's Team.
I'd be honored. I'd be honored. So I'm going to kick it to Bella Verita and Andrea Catania to now, that's what you guys are doing, right? Is to go from hello to yes, tell who are the participants and all the fun things. And I have an emergent moment coming. I will do my best to circle back. But Bella Verita, over to you.
All right, go do the things, Mr. Sean Callaghy. And great job, Kenny Pray and Oprah. And now we have Gene and Gary into the participant seat. And so, Gene, Gary, you'll get the opportunity to role play with Andrea. Andrea will be anyone that you want her to be, that you would like to go from hello to yes on, like Sean said earlier. It could be for a philanthropic partner. It could be for a speaking engagement. Any yes that you're seeking that you would like Andrea to be. You'll have 3 minutes. So this isn't like Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room. This truly is just, maybe 3 minutes for, a longer meeting. And so, Gary, let's kick it off with you. And Gary, who would you like Andrea to be?
That is a good question. It's a tough question. Why don't we make Andrea be, in this case, very tough question. Vladimir Zelensky.
Vladimir Zelensky. Andrea, you got this. Take us in.
Hello, this is Vladimir. I'm not doing the accent the whole time.
You don't have to. We are a company, and it just so happens that my chief technology officer is from the Ukraine, although he lives in Long Island. And is
I'm so sorry. I only have about 3.5 minutes. Who's calling, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Gary Merkin. I am the president of Resonate.com. And I would like to get your attention for about 20 minutes to help you get to the public global good to help you out in your war efforts.
I do have about 3 minutes now. Continue, please.
Okay. So anyhow, I am very close with a colleague of mine who is from the Ukraine, and he does live here in New York. His family is over there, and he has been enduring, the constant bombardments through his family's communications. So I would like to ask you, is there anything that you can do with your own powers to stop this war?
Thank you for asking, Gary. Why, yes, I think I've demonstrated, over these past few years, many different things that I've been able to implement. Candidly, they haven't been enough, but I'm doing what I can for the people I love, for the country that I love, and I will not stand down. So as ideas come to me, as I amass the support and the love of the people in my community and my ecosystem in my country, we stand as strong as we can. And by all means, I am not so sure of everything that I do that I don't want to take advice, guidance, and suggestions. So the floor is yours. My country is more important to me as everything in my family. And over to you, Gary.
Give me 3 world leaders that you would want to get in front of immediately that you haven't already been able to get in front of or haven't had their attention, one-on-one in order to get another step movement towards peace.
Why don't you tell me first the 5 leaders that you can access, and let me select from them. Because everyone I want access to, anyone who has power, anyone, obviously Donald Trump, I've had some collisions with. Who do you have a relationship with? And I will select.
I would not go political. I would not work with Donald Trump in this case. It's not going to help your cause.
I don't disagree with you.
I would go for political and religious leaders. I have connections to those. I'm not going to give the names out here, but if you'd be interested in backing into this through other diplomatic measures with business leaders of major global corporations, religious leaders of major geographic regions, and those type of connections.
It's just the 2 of us on the phone, Gary. Share with me. If you truly have relationships, I am interested in becoming impressed. I don't mind if you get left-leaning, right-leaning. I will not judge you. I'm curious who you can bring to the table. I am a truth seeker. Believe it or not, I am not looking to kowtow to anyone in particular. I want the world to be a better place.
Okay. So the first person I might introduce you to from the business leader side of the world would be someone who's in finance. One of the biggest financiers would be Jamie Dimon. And I'm sure you know who Jamie Dimon is.
Absolutely.
Okay. Jamie Dimon has a circle of people who the second person, and some of you may know him, his name is Larry Namer. Larry Namer happens to be the former founder of E! Entertainment and is a tremendous influence in the media world. He's the president of I think it's called the Motion Picture Something Foundation. He's brand new to that foundation. And that would be the second person I would introduce you to as far as that's concerned. And the third person I'd introduce you to is a gentleman that I met while I was publisher of Inc. magazine. He is a business influencer. He's a real estate individual.
So Vladimir, this is your secretary. Remember, you have someone waiting in your office.
Thank you. I'm a bit mesmerized, I have to say. I did not expect
so
to be
I'm going to
this
leave it at those. I'm going to leave it at the
suddenly-
first. I'm going to leave it
Yeah.
at the first two, Vladimir.
The first two have moved me deeply. It's not just a financial influencer or someone who can really make an impact on the world, but storytelling in movies. I know the importance of how to get people's attention through that medium. So thank you. I would love to meet those two people. I think we need to speak longer, maybe next week. I have a very full schedule. Please schedule it with my assistant, Anita. And thank you. Thank you for reaching out.
Thank you.
Great job, Andrea. Great job, Gary. That's a tough situation for sure. We'll get to the feedbackers in just a moment. But Jean, who would you like Andrea Catania to be, please? Just unmute for us, Jean.
I'd like Andrea to be Taylor Swift.
Oh, the newly engaged Taylor Swift. Let's see your bling bling, Taylor. All right, Miss Swift, take us in.
Wrong hand. This is Taylor.
So I'm holding a fundraiser tomorrow morning, and I would like for you to come because we would like more young people to invest in our business.
Hold on a second. Is this George? Who's calling?
Gene Edelman.
Ah, I do remember. Okay, I do have you on my calendar. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Taylor, we're holding a meeting for potential investors tomorrow in our factory, and I would like for you to come and share where you're excited about 3D printed homes that can be built 30% less expensive, 70% faster. So we're going to have housing for victims of LA fires, as well as for the homeless, so on and so forth.
Oh, I was writing a song about this, about the fires that have been going on. I lost some dear friends in Paradise a few years ago. I really didn't know this is what you were all about. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Yeah, we developed the process to 3D print homes using recycled polymers. So it's not only solving the housing crisis, but also our terrible plastic problems. And I know you have a house here in Beverly Hills, so you can come and since now you're engaged, please bring Travis along. I think both of you would be great, and we have a very large facility and a big parking lot, so I think we could accommodate all the fans to come here.
Well, thank you for thinking of me. I know how spread thin I am and how busy I am. Can you tell me a little bit more about why this might be something that I should be spending some more time with? There are just so many needs out there, and I want to hear more about the impact that you're having, because you've gotten my attention. I have to be honest.
Yeah, we've had devastating wildfires here in LA 7 months ago, destroyed 16,000 homes. And so a lot of people are underinsured and looking for a way to rebuild their homes with something that looks beautiful, but at the same time less expensive. At the same time, we have 75,000 homeless in LA County, and with the World Cup, Super Bowl, and Olympics coming here over the next 2.5 years, we really need to find a way to shelter all these people. So, with us providing the solutions, I think that you coming and bringing more investors who might be interested to join our journey, I think it could be a real solution.
And did you say 3D printing?
Yeah, we developed the process to 3D print homes. So it's a unique way to do this, and it's generates no waste. As I said, we use tons of recycled plastic to do that, and it's while people can learn about this using YouTube, it really coming to the factory and seeing it firsthand makes a huge difference. So if you were to be here and we could have thousands of people come by, I think it would make a huge difference.
That sounds fascinating. My label has me scheduled starting next week. I'm going to be on a big tour, so it's got to be soon. Would you be able to accommodate us maybe on Friday?
Yeah, I'll change the schedule. Absolutely. I know you.
Gene is changing his schedule for Taylor Swift.
I think I'll have to do it.
Yes, gotta change that for Taylor Swift. Don't forget the engagement present, Gene. Great job. Andrea, now we're going to get to the feedbackers, otherwise known as judges. Judges, this is the time in the show that we get to give back in the form of feedback. So it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Gary or Gene, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve, and then a little word for just how the interaction left you feeling overall. So let's kick it off with Dan. And Dan, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Gary, please?
Gary, I thought it was good. I thought the the delivery and the sort of ease of speaking with your celebrity was good. I would say, if anything, just more bullet pointed for me to just stay focused. But overall, I thought it was really good.
Beautiful. And so, Dan, what is the one word on how it left you feeling?
I was convinced.
Convinced. Awesome. Great job, Dan. And then let's go, Kenny. Kenny, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Gene?
If I'm to be completely forthright, I felt like there was a lot of hesitation with Gene, and I felt like he should have been confident and disclosed, why his company was different than others and why it was so important, and the impact that Taylor could have had, just besides bringing in young investors, and why the cause was so important. I felt like that could have come across. I felt both Gene and Gary came across as authentic, and I will say that right away you just feeling from Gary was, so if I may also give you feedback on Gary, I felt like Gary was you could trust him. It just came across very, very clearly.
Trusting.
However, I would say if you could say more clearly what your value prop was, we didn't get to what you were really offering, other than you were going to connect them, and we didn't know how or why or what they would do with that. So
beautiful. And then so, Kenny, what was your one word for Gene?
I felt like it was confusing.
Confusing. Okay, got it. Thank you for that. Kenny, we'll get some feedback from Leia, our act eye, in just a moment, but let's go Ray. Ray, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Gary, please?
So I think the first thing that struck me, and I agree with the other comments, in that you came across as authentic, but you didn't really establish why he should be interested in this call. Your hook was you could introduce him to non-political influencers, and that then come well into the call. I think that would have been something that you'd want to bring up, earlier, in terms of why was this call something that he needed to pay attention to, which would then spark any follow-on. So that would be, and I think it was similar with Gene in that, speaking with Taylor Swift, you didn't establish why would Taylor Swift want to be interested in this. Mm-hmm. And I harken back to Sean's comments, particularly as pertains to, raising money for nonprofits. the donors want to feel what's the value proposition for them. And so I think that would be the one thing that was missing from the two, is sort of why would Vladimir Putin be interested in meeting those influencers with money, perhaps? The same thing, Gene, why would Taylor Swift have an interest in this? So that was my, otherwise I thought once you got over that.
And so, so what was your one word for Gary?
I would say establish what the connection is up front.
That was a lot more than just one word, but we'll take it, Ray. Great job. Just because you can wiggle your ears, we'll let you get away with more words. And let's go, Andrea Cattaneo. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for Gene, please?
I found the idea of being able to be a person at cause and helping so many people to be intriguing. So his concept alone, even though it might have been a little confusing, was something that resonated with Taylor, because Taylor wants to have impact in the world. And the technology sounded fascinating to me. Yes, I think, Gene, there are things that early on you might have done to pull me in. What's in it for me? Maybe I'd be showcased. Maybe I would be able to do something or give something back to my fans. But the fact that you are enabling me to help people, I think you did your homework on me. I think you chose Taylor Swift because you know Taylor really does want to do good in the world. So I felt that the word that I'm left with is impactful.
Impactful. Well, thank you for that, Andrea Cattaneo. And Andrea, shall we introduce our friends to Leah?
Oh, yes, let's.
So, Leah, we have over 100 ACTI intelligent agents here at Unblinded, and Leah her knowledge base is in the influence mastery formula, the 4 energies, the 4 steps, the 12 indispensable elements, crafted by Sean Callaghan to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts and raise millions of dollars for charity. And so here is what Leah had to say about your Hello Yeah. So we'll start with Gary. Gary, you entered with raw urgency, admirable intent, bold, time-sensitive, and mission-driven. The emotional resonance in Gary's share about his Ukraine CTO, the authentic plea for impact, created a high-stakes moment of humanity. Vladimir's reply carried noble gravitas, leading with conviction and heartfelt leadership. The deep "I will not stand down" was a beacon of heroic, unique identity. Still, though, the piano skipped a few keys. Pain was named but not felt. The rapport had flickers but missed full ignition, and a clear agreement frame could have grounded the vision flight. Could we dim the political static and amplify the shared truth frequency? Now with some cues from the orchestra, because that was just Act 1. Let's see who conducts the next solo. Score 96 out of 130. Great job, Gary. And for Gene, you brought a spark of mission-led momentum, grounded in impact, clarity, and authentic urgency. From firestorm devastation to polymer solutions, your unique heroic identity sang through. The Bring Travis invitation added a clever personal note, and your vision for scalable sheltering stitched together heart and strategy beautifully. That said, the runway was a bit bumpy. The opening skipped rapport's golden tuning fork, jumped too quickly into logistics. A stronger emotional bridge might have tailored resonance sooner. Could you warm the fire before asking her to gather the kindling? Still, the house was half built, but there is some serious magic in the blueprint. Let's toss the glitter hat and call it the next dream architect. Score 101 out of 130.
Leah is amazing.
Yeah, so that was Leah's feedback. Great job, Gary. Great job, Gene. And let's go, Gene. Overall, how was your time with us on The Heart of Influence?
I loved it. I think it's, I always wanted to be in spontaneous interaction. And there's so few, now so much scripted by ChatGPT. So it's good to be in spontaneous type environment. So.
Beautiful. Love your spontaneity. Gene, thank you for being here. Gary, how about you? How was your time with us on the Heart of Influence today?
Well spent. Out of nowhere. This is in the business I'm in, it's kind of winding down for the end of summer. So I thought it was well spent, and it found its way to me yesterday. So I appreciate Andrea inviting me.
Fantastic, Gary. Wonderful to have you here. And let's go, Ray. Ray, thank you for being here. Thank you for wiggling your ears for us. And how was your time with us overall in the Heart of Influence?
Well, like Gary Eugene, I thought it was well spent. I think, again, reinforcing much of what we probably all know intuitively in terms of how do you establish rapport and connection with people. And so I really found it to be helpful and refreshing.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ray. Great to have you here. Let's go, Dan. Dan, thank you for being here. Great job in the judges seat kicking us off. Not always easy. And Dan, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
No, it was good. It was good. I appreciate, thank you, Andrea, for inviting me. It's all about the network. So meeting, good people is what I like to do. Spend my time doing.
Beautiful. Well, you definitely met some great people here today. Dan, thank you so much for being here. And Kenny, thank you. Thank you for playing Oprah. And Kenny, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
I thought it was great. It's really nice to see some new faces, meet people. And I think that in this format, you get to know people pretty well in a short period of time. I love to learn about new businesses. And if there's anyone on here who wants to, talk about their business or, anything else, just you have my contact information. So today can be just the beginning. So Andrea, thank you so much. Bella, thank you for being such a great host. And if Sean were here, I'd thank him too. It's not every day I get to pretend that I'm Oprah Winfrey. So.
You and me both, and I will definitely give Sean, tell him you said thank you from everybody. And on behalf of Sean, myself, and the Unblinded team, we do have some gifts for you in the chat. These are not throwaway gifts. These are gifts. Oh, Andrea, do you see the gifts in the chat?
I don't yet. They
Okay.
have not popped up. No.
All right. And I think he just left for the next show. So Andrea, if you could make sure in the email that everyone gets their gifts, you get a business acceleration session with one of our team members. You'll get a transcription for the show. You'll get a transcription for the show. They'll also help you accelerate any of the relationships that you've had here today. You'll also get our group influence book. It is the entire formula distilled into the 4 energies, the 4 steps to 12 indispensable elements. In group influence, so you'll get that as well. And Andrea will make sure that you are connected to each other because that's why you're here. And on that note, we always say, we're all blind to the opportunities right in front of us. And there's so much magic and money and acceleration that can happen. But sometimes we're all blind